If you're a teenager or a parent of a teenager, you've probably wondered how to start investing as a teen. And that's a really good question. In my decade of traveling the country, speaking to students all over the country, we were able to inspire 250,000 student leaders. And I can tell you this, very few teenagers understand the power of starting at their age because we don't give them the freedom to do that. And in this video, I'm gonna give you 2 ways that you can invest if you're a teenager or if you're a parent of a teenager so that we can start raising the financial literacy of our students so that when they grow up and continue to fill the workforce and start businesses, they understand the investing game. This is one of the most powerful things we can do for our young people is teach them how to take a dollar and multiply it. The more they do that, the more people they can help and the more they can continue to build a financially free life. The first thing I would do is start with stocks. Now you might say, whoa, Mike, a real estate guy saying starting with stocks? Why in the world are you telling us to say invest in stocks if you're a real estate guy? Well, I love what the stock market does specifically from an education perspective. Because when you understand why stocks fall, why they rise, what companies to pick, what's going on inside companies that make them rise, what's going on inside companies that tend to make them fail, how does leadership impact this? Just that knowledge alone of navigating what's happening inside the stock market and learning how the stock market works and the economy is at play and what happens for the economy and how does buyer perception change the economy. Understanding that as a stock market investor is a really powerful thing to teach a teenager. And yes, they can learn it. I know a few teenagers that love to dabble in the stock market and they're investing little amounts of money here and there, but the education is priceless of what they learn throughout that process. This is also a good way to generate a little bit of cash on a monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly or yearly basis, and you'll generate a little bit of cash on your money, and the idea that they invested something and it grew a little bit is an amazing, mind-blowing education and experience for a student. They don't really see that. No student invests usually. I didn't. I never invested in something and saw it grow, other than the time my dad loaned me $35 to buy a lawnmower, in which I went up and down to every house on our street, asked if I could mow their lawn, and I started my first business. I had to pay that $35 back, so you could say that was my first loan and investment. But I wasn't investing in the stock market. I had no idea how the stocks worked and the economy was at play and how all that happened. If we can open more students' minds to this kind of thinking, we can really set up a generation of students that understand finances. And financial literacy is on decline, and we need it to be on the rise. And we can change that. But we want to start normalizing teenagers learning about investment. And a stock market is a great place to learn that. So one of the ways to do that is, as a teenager, invest in a few of the stocks on the dividend aristocrat list. These would be stocks like Coca-Cola and Target, some of these bigger stocks that tend to have slow increasing values over time. So it's a good place to invest your money and see it grow over time. It's a good place to invest $5, $10, $20, $100 and just see it continue to grow. But this is a great way to use your money as a teenager. Let's say you are mowing lawns or you are babysitting. You do have a weekend job and you can take that money, put it in the stock market, and you can see your money grow. But you know the most powerful thing about that process? It is teaching your brain to see money as a means to invest. Nothing can change a financial future like seeing money as an investment tool rather than simply to cover my expenses. And that is a great way to train our brains to think correctly from a very young age. Now, mind you, you have to be at least 18 to start investing in stocks, but stick around to the end and I'll give you a way around this and how to navigate this so you can start investing as a teenager. Before I get on to that next tip, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our family of other like-minded people that are achieving financial freedom. Especially if you're a teenager, this is a great place to be to understand money, learn how real estate works, and really raise your game so you go to college with a mind that is way ahead of where your peers are. The second place you can invest is in a low stock mutual fund. A mutual fund is simply the collection of a bunch of stocks, and you're investing into the fund that invests into the stock market. One of the powerful things about this is because you're investing into a fund that's investing in many different companies and stocks, you're not fully dependent on one company to grow your money. So you might be investing into a group of stocks where one isn't doing so hot, but the others are really carrying it forward. So this limits your risk when you invest into a mutual fund like this. I encourage you to do this after you've worked in the stock market a little bit and understand the process of the stock market. By understanding a little bit more about how stocks work and what happens with different stocks, you can then move this over to a mutual fund and understand the kind of fund you're investing in, what kind of stocks they're buying. You'll have better questions before you pick a fund, and you'll be able to invest at a very high level by learning that stock market rhythm first. The same thing applies here as it did with investing in stocks. You have to be 18 to invest in a mutual fund. But that shouldn't stop you. It doesn't have to stop you from investing in both stocks and mutual funds. But here's the way around this. Your parents, or if you are the parent of a teenager, can open up a custodial account and gift money into that account for your teenager to use. Yes, the parent needs to be making the trades, but the teen can learn it all and tell them where they'd like that money placed. They can drive the process and the parent can just do the clicking. So you can open up a custodial account as a parent, or if you're a teenager, have your parents open up a custodial account, gift some money into it, and then you can start trading through them into different stocks. You still get the education, you can still make that money, and you can graduate with a vast knowledge of how money works in the stock market and how you can continue to grow your money even while in high school. Imagine graduating with a few $1,000s that you made in the stock market, and then understanding just the more you invest, the more that's going to increase. And then as you get into your 20s, you can continue to grow your portfolio of investments into your 20s and start to diversify into real estate and some other investments that will continue to really set you up for your future. Now, there are 3 good and trusted places to open up that custodial account. You can go through E-Trade, you can go through Ameritrade, or you can go through Charles Schwab. All 3 of those links are going to be in the description, and you'll be able to click on that, open up your custodial account, or have your parents do it, gift funds into it, and you're ready to roll. And you can start learning the stock market. It's such a powerful thing to know how money works and how businesses work. Even on college applications, a person who's been trading stocks looks really good to a collegiate admissions board when they're admitting you into high-level institutions. This shows intuitiveness. It shows intelligence. It shows the fact that you're a leader and you're learning new things and pushing forward. This is a really, really good differentiator. But also make sure you watch our video, How to Invest in Your 20s. Because if you're a teenager, you're approaching being in your 20s, or you may have a brother or sister in their 20s, and you can share this information with them and help them see how to really get investing in their 20s. So make sure you watch that, because as you invest as a teenager, that's going to be the natural progression, is to set yourself up for your 20s.